Le développement de l'accès au numérique est un enjeu majeur pour l'Afrique. La connectivité, en particulier haut débit, est en effet un véritable accélérateur de croissance pour les pays. Étendre et améliorer les connexions mobiles et fixes demande des investissements massifs dans les infrastructures sous-marines et terrestres. Orange participe activement au développement de ces infrastructures qui permettent la transformation numérique du continent africain en investissant chaque année 1 milliard d'euros. Initié par Orange en partenariat avec 16 autres opérateurs, le projet de câble sous-marin Africa Coast to Europe connecte la France aux pays d'Afrique de l'Ouest. Déjà opérationnel à Sao Tomé et Principe, ACE poursuit actuellement sa route vers l'Afrique du Sud. Il reliera à terme 24 pays et 400 millions de personnes. Main One est un câble sous-marin de 7000 km qui relie le Portugal au Nigeria. En 2019, Orange a signé un partenariat avec Main One pour créer 2 stations d'atterrissement au Sénégal et en Côte d'Ivoire. Ces extensions du câble permettront aux 2 pays de bénéficier d'une meilleure connectivité, de prix plus abordables et d'accéder à de nouveaux services. Orange fait partie du consortium Tout Africa, composé notamment de Facebook, qui finance la construction d'un des plus longs câbles sous-marins du monde, 37 000 km. Il fera à terme le tour de l'Afrique. La mise en service du câble Tout Africa est prévue en 2023-2024. Il facilitera le déploiement de la 4G, de la 5G et de l'accès au débit fixe pour des centaines de millions de personnes. Orange investit également dans les infrastructures terrestres. La création du backbone de Djoliba en est un exemple. Ce réseau sécurisé multirégional relie les principales capitales d'Afrique de l'Ouest. L'objectif est de soutenir le développement de l'écosystème numérique et de répondre aux besoins des entreprises en Afrique de l'Ouest. Il existe également en complément des solutions de connectivité innovantes, notamment avec les opérateurs de constellations satellites pour les pays n'ayant pas directement accès aux câbles sous-marins et infrastructures de réseaux terrestres. La République centrafricaine ou la République démocratique du Congo en sont des exemples. Orange est actuellement présent dans 18 pays d'Afrique et compte 124 millions de clients. Le groupe continue ses investissements sur le continent pour offrir une connectivité fiable, sécurisée et de grande qualité et ainsi contribuer à l'inclusion numérique des populations. Orange.
Hello everyone, welcome to this video press conference to launch the Djoliba network. Ensuring universal access to broadband means for African countries connecting over 1.1 billion additional people, an ambition that requires an unprecedented and concerted effort from governments, the private sector, and development partners. And it is within this framework that the Djoliba project was born. Djoliba marks a new step in Orange's international connectivity development strategy in Africa. Now, let's go straight to hear from the chairman and CEO of the Orange Group, Mr. Stéphane Richard.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous. Cela fait plus de 20 ans qu'Orange est présent en Afrique et au Moyen-Orient. Depuis toutes ces années, nous sommes convaincus du potentiel immense de ce continent et avons massivement investi pour en améliorer la connectivité. Le projet Djoliba, que je suis fier de vous présenter aujourd'hui, permettra de renforcer encore nos ambitions sur la région. Ce nouveau réseau international s'inscrit au cœur de notre stratégie Engage 2025, dont l'Afrique est un levier de croissance central. D'abord, Djoliba permettra de réduire la fracture numérique, dont souffrent encore trop d'entreprises dans cette zone, ce qui entraînera le développement de nouveaux services et de nouveaux usages dont bénéficieront directement les populations. Par ailleurs, nous poursuivons aussi l'objectif de renforcer notre leadership dans les réseaux nationaux et internationaux. En lançant Djoliba, le premier réseau panafricain de l'Ouest, Orange s'impose comme un des moteurs de la connectivité internationale en Afrique et franchit une nouvelle étape de son développement sur le continent. Enfin, il s'agit d'un projet majeur pour accompagner notre ambition de devenir l'opérateur digital de référence en Afrique d'ici 2025. Ce backbone régional, qui reliera 8 pays d'Afrique de l'Ouest, du Sénégal au Nigeria, repose sur un réseau de fibres optiques terrestres couplé à des câbles sous-marins. Cela représente un investissement massif qui vise à améliorer le débit de connexion, la résilience et la haute disponibilité du réseau. En effet, tous les acteurs profiteront d'un réseau Orange sans couture, exploité et maintenu depuis Dakar. C'est un bond en avant considérable pour soutenir l'écosystème numérique et répondre aux besoins croissants des entreprises dans la région. Enfin, je voudrais saluer l'ensemble des équipes qui ont permis la réussite de ce projet. Djoliba est en effet le fruit d'un travail remarquable, porté par une équipe transverse, et c'est grâce à cet effort collectif que nous avons pu, ensemble, relever ce défi de taille.
First Pan-African network, massive investment, and especially improved connection speed. In essence, this is what we can take away from Mr. Stéphane Richard's message. And to discuss it in more detail, we have some major stakeholders with us. First, Mr. Alouine Ndaye, CEO of Orange Middle East and Africa, Mr. Jérôme Barré, CEO Orange Wholesale and International Networks, Mr. Mamadou Bamba, CEO Orange Côte d'Ivoire, and Mr. Sekou Dramé, CEO of the Sonatel Group. I would like to point out to the journalists who are attending this live conference that they can ask their questions as soon as the press conference starts in the area provided for this purpose below the video. Above all, I invite you to clearly specify the name of your media and your own name. On this note, I give the floor to Mr. Alouine Ndiaye, who manages the 18 subsidiaries of the region. He will talk to us about the challenges of digital inclusion of African populations and the contribution of the Djoliba network in the digital transformation of the continent. You have the floor, Mr. Ndaye.
Good morning, Edith. Good morning, everyone. I am both delighted and proud to be presenting Djoliba to you today, the first very high-speed fiber optic network in West Africa. It's a collective team effort, so I would warmly like to congratulate the teams from Orange who've helped this unique project come to life. As a multi-service operator and partner in digital transformation, we are convinced that developing digital access is critical for Africa. As you know, we are present in 18 countries in Africa and the Middle East. Our 2G, 3G networks provide connectivity to over 120 million clients, whereas 4G is now available in 17 countries, used by over 30 million clients. Connectivity, especially high speed, is a real accelerator of growth for these countries. Research carried out by United Nations and other international organizations have showed that the connectivity has increased by more than 1 point per inhabitant. And of course, very high speed networks provides enormous opportunities for economies. In terms of the infrastructure in each country, but also internationally, Orange's strategy is to be a major player for all development possible. And Djoliba is proof of our commitment to developing our presence in Africa. We participate in the development of this infrastructure by contributing over a billion euros annually. As we know, the number of connected people in Africa continues to grow. According to the GSMA, there were more than 350 million mobile internet users at the end of 2019, or 20 times more than 15 years ago. But the difference across countries concerned remains enormous. Landlocked countries, as well as poor or highly unstable countries, have extremely limited access to the internet compared to the more developed countries. Likewise, in rural areas where 60% of the population lives and urban areas, it's a huge difference. Djoliba is a key feature of future growth and improved internet access for landlocked nations in the region. This network, deployed by Orange, will provide points of presence between 8 capital cities of West Africa: Abidjan, Dakar, Bamako, Ouagadougou, Lagos, Accra, Conakry, and Monrovia, providing seamless connectivity. It's also extremely important to highlight the development of local skills and the digital ecosystem locally. For Africa to excel in a digital revolution of this scale, it's crucial to develop the necessary skills locally. Djoliba is a good demonstration of this because our subsidiaries, Orange Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Sonatel, Orange Burkina, and Orange Mali, have focused all their efforts on deploying, operating, and marketing this new network. What is more, Djoliba is going to improve West Africa's access to digital technologies. Local populations will be able to access health and education services more easily, as well as potential uses in cloud computing and content hosted in data centers in West Africa rather than in Europe or the US. Thanks to Orange's content delivery network, Djoliba will meet growing demand from companies, institutions, and all players in West Africa's digital ecosystem, serving potentially 330 million inhabitants. Thank you, Mr. Ndiaye. We'll now follow a video presentation of the Djoliba project.
Déployé par Orange, Djoliba est le premier réseau de fibre optique panafricain qui propose une connectivité très haut débit vers l'international depuis l'Afrique de l'Ouest. Il tient son nom du fleuve Niger, Djoliba, en mandingue. C'est le 3e plus long fleuve d'Afrique. À l'instar de ce fleuve qui permet le commerce entre plusieurs pays d'Afrique de l'Ouest, le réseau Djoliba couvre 8 pays. Cette large couverture permettra de démocratiser l'accès à la connectivité auprès des entreprises et des populations. Long de plus de 10 000 km de fibre optique terrestre, ce réseau sécurisé interconnecte 16 points de présence avec un maillage de près de 155 sites techniques et relie plus de 300 points de présence en Europe, Amérique et en Asie. De par son architecture, Djoliba permet une protection optimale du trafic en proposant dans chaque ville l'accès à 2 data centers distincts et en reliant les 8 métropoles par au moins 2 routes de fibres terrestres distinctes: Abidjan, Dakar, Bamako, Ouagadougou, Lagos, Accra, Conakry et Monrovia. L'ensemble est complété par plus de 10 000 km de câbles sous-marins qui assurent une sécurisation accrue du réseau et la connectivité vers les autres continents. Cette architecture particulière permet de proposer une offre de services de connectivité internationale au travers d'un réseau hautement sécurisé et une qualité de service de 99,99%, ainsi que tous les bénéfices d'un réseau Tier 1. Sur le terrain, Djoliba est exploité et maintenu par des équipes locales basées à Dakar. Elles peuvent ainsi dépêcher des équipes d'intervention dans chacun des pays pour une localisation et une réactivité accrue en cas d'incident. Elles sont soutenues par des équipes de supervision en mode 24/7 depuis les États-Unis, l'Inde et la France. Ce réseau permet également de soutenir l'écosystème du contenu local grâce aux interconnexions avec le réseau Content Delivery Network d'Orange. Avec plus de 120 millions de consommateurs, c'est le plus important d'Afrique. Grâce à Djoliba, Orange répond aux besoins des entreprises, des institutions et des acteurs telco en Afrique de l'Ouest pour servir un potentiel de 330 millions d'habitants. Orange.
So as you've just seen, Djoliba is a unique and hugely promising project in West Africa. Mr. Jérôme Barré, you're in charge of international networks in particular. Can you explain how the project took shape and everything that underlies the architecture?
Hello to everyone. It's a great pleasure to be with you today to share the experience of this extraordinary project, Djoliba. As Alvin explained, digital inclusion at the service of Africa and the development for Orange is a beautiful human adventure. As Alioune explained, digital inclusion is very important for African countries. We notice that demand is increasing dramatically.
We have a little technical problem.
And two stakes relative to that. One first is to accompany this growth and to ensure that it can be accomplished under proper conditions. And in each country, of course, this is not sufficient. Each country, Orange is present in Africa, where Orange is present, has a fiber network, but within these borders, they need to be interconnected. So this is a major stake. So we hope through this project to interconnect the project and then connect to the submarine cables, which allow us to have an open. That's with these twofold stakes of opening and connection. Orange had all of the strengths to do this, and I spoke about the assets and our technical assets with the fiber and the submarine cables, but also, and even more importantly, we have human capital, the competencies and expertise to conduct such a project locally and globally at the group level. So this is why 2 years ago, we decided to build this backbone for Western Africa, which was accomplished in less than 2 years, which is certainly an accomplishment given that we encountered many difficulties. And of course, the COVID crisis being among them. And we were still able to stay in line with our calendar. So what is Djoliba? Djoliba, as I said, it's 8 countries collected. And this is an offering at 2 levels, the transmission and connectivity, internet connectivity. This is a response to the needs of Africa and the broad needs of Africa, and a response to the needs of the subsidiaries of Orange to accompany their clients, but also to all of the ecosystem players, and a response for all of the operators, and a response to all of the content suppliers, which allows the African content suppliers to serve their end customers, and also the B2B customers to give them a collective response. So we wanted to embed this in Africa. So now the network has been deployed. It is now being operated with a dedicated team, which is based in Dakar, as has already been mentioned. So today, Djoliba is an innovated and differentiated solution with a unique and seamless and quality, as 99.9% quality. Why? How did we accomplish this quality? With security being important. It's like very highly granular, which will enable us the smallest to the largest speed needs. Now that construction is finished and the operating, we are now starting the commercialization of this project. We are very proud. Before we had infrastructures in each country and submarine cables, but today we have much more than that. We have an interconnected network that is open and with very high performance. And I think that our announcement today shows the strength of a group like Orange, which has very strong subsidiaries and players to use the driver for our development. And this is a human adventure. And this is very important for me because this is the result of a collective work with all of the teams who are committed and who were able to find common solutions cooperatively. I would like to thank them all and all of the parts of the group, and I wish long life to Djoliba. Thank you, Mr. Jean Barret. Now it's Mr. Mamadou Bamba's turn to speak. Let me remind you that he led the acquisition of the subsidiaries of Orange Burgundy and Orange Liberia in 2016. Can you give us more details on the involvement of Orange Côte d'Ivoire, in particular concerning Djoliba commercial offers? Over to you.
Thank you, Edith. And hello to everyone. And welcome to everyone taking part. By pooling our efforts and resources, we've been able to equip our West African zone with the first Pan-African fiber optic network coupled to subsea cables. Thanks to the Djoliba project, which is now a reality, Orange, Ivory Coast and Orange Burkina have provided 4,339 kilometers of terrestrial fiber, including 3,384 fiber for Orange Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, and 955 kilometers of fiber for Burkina Faso. So I'd like to say a huge thank you to the Orange Group, Aliou Nendaye and Jérôme Barré's team. So it's the first ever cross-border network. As Jérôme was saying, Djoliba is a seamless network that will interconnect several capitals with security, much more advanced security guarantee. As the development of connectivity to a very high-speed network is a critical stage for our digital ecosystem in Africa, significant investments have been made to improve access to digital technologies. Today, the seamless network is a real innovation in terms of quality of service and simple interconnection processes across our countries. In the past, to provide service between two capitals, operators had to integrate several providers' distinct networks and join the two different networks at interconnection points at the border. Seamless addresses this insufficiency and makes the Djoliba network a key feature of future growth in our region. Djoliba not only improves internet access for landlocked countries thanks to very broad network terrestrial coverage, but also thanks to subsea capacity sections like SAT3, ACE, and Main 1, which help reinforce resistance in the event of outages to ensure high availability of connectivity. To illustrate this, communicating with Burkina from the Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, it will be possible to use direct fiber between Côte d'Ivoire and Burkina, or we can go through Mali and reach Burkina, or we can use the ACE submarine cable from the Côte d'Ivoire to reach Ghana before returning to Burkina. Technically speaking, Djoliba makes it possible to deliver links at speeds ranging from 2 million bytes to 100 gigabytes, with several service levels to meet various needs. So it provides links in record time with excellent quality of service and can promote internet connectivity to landlocked regions. On the business side, our seamless network will allow Orange Côte d'Ivoire, Orange Burkina Faso, and Orange Liberia to provide a breakthrough offering that gives excellent value for money to the market. Djoliba will thus improve our position on the wholesale and B2B market in West Africa. In conclusion, I would like to repeat my heartfelt thanks to the stakeholders in this ambitious project, which undoubtedly is a great opportunity for our country. Thank you. So, first Pan-African network, quality of service. Thank you very much, Mr. Bomba. Mr. Sekou Dramé will now close the series of speeches by focusing on the security of the Djoliba network. He manages a Sonatel group, including activities in Mali, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau. Over to
Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure for the Sonatel Group to participate in launching Djoliba, the new unified network of the Orange Group in West Africa. This project that is emerging for long months is now satisfying to see that this hard work of Orange, Orange Côte d'Ivoire, Orange Burkina, Orange Mali, and Sonatel has now culminated in the commissioning of an infrastructure that will truly remodel the telecommunications landscape in West Africa. The Djoliba network, the main objective of the Djoliba network is to transform the wholesale telecommunications market and businesses in West Africa. It's a unique network. Initially connect 6 countries and very soon to which will be added Guinea and Liberia. Thanks to Djoliba, 330 million inhabitants will be served, and that includes even the most remote regions. As Mamadou explained, previously, network interconnections between 2 countries took a long time and were quite complex for operators and other service providers. Today, Djoliba is changing all that. It directly interconnects capitals of West Africa with a very high-speed network, a seamless network that is with no technological disruption, using end-to-end optical fiber. Djoliba is also interconnected with the networks of the Orange Group in West Africa and also with the heart of the global internet network with the international tier 1 network of Orange. This is the first time that we have in Africa a cross-border network that last generation and secure to ensure the security of the network. Each regional capital is interconnected through several fiber optic routes, which are themselves secured by submarine cables. We have equipments for each capital installed in 2 distinct data centers, which enables us to have complete redundancy. And we also have intermediary equipment that also secures the system. Let us take an example. We take the example of an operator in Mali, which is a landlocked country. Before, to secure the internet traffic, these operators had to put in a secure network with a route vers Dakar, another one toward Abidjan, and for this, you have to have several contracts with several different suppliers. But today, with Djoliba, it is all naturally secured by the network. This will contribute to the establishment of this network by pooling our assets in the region, the assets of all these subsidiaries. This is the last generation data center with 794 kilometers of optical fiber in Mali and Senegal, and capacity of several submarine cables, SAT-3, ACE, and Main-1, but also our expertise of our teams working in collaboration with. I am particularly delighted that of the choice that has been made to locate in Dakar the teams in charge of operating the Djoliba network. And I would like to end by thanking all of my colleagues at Orange who have pooled their expertise to accomplish the delivery of this network. This has enabled the Sonatel Group to reinforce its ambition of being a privileged partner in the digital transformation of societies in West Africa. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sekou Dramé. This is going to completely remodel the connectivity in Africa, and it is a very good news. And With these words, I would like to announce the opening of the question and answer session to journalists. Please give the name of your media and your own name. And I would like to point out that we have 3 other speakers to answer your questions. First, we have Mrs. Aminata Dramé, which is the General Director of ONIS Africa, Mr. Raoul Youboué, Marketing and Wholesale Director, Orange Côte d'Ivoire, and Mr. Emmanuel Rochas, CEO International Carriers for Orange. My first question is for Ms. Aminata Dramé. Can you tell us more about your missions and how the local teams will operate the network?
Thank you very much, Edith. Hello to everybody. Thank you for allowing me to answer this question. So, Djoliba is going to benefit from Orange's expertise on the international framework to be closer to clients, closer to the population, and of course, based on African territory. So, Djoliba recently started operating. So, they'll also be available thanks to this team, servicing of teams who will be able to reply to any technical problem that may come up. And this ONIS team also has support from India. So the ONIS team, which is based in Senegal, based on African soil, is part of Orange's strategy to develop African expertise to allow Africa to provide closer relationships to its clients and more coordination, proximity to be able to intervene in terms of operations and to offer great performance. Thank you very much for your question.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madame Dramé.
So we have a first question from Mr. Abidjo, which is for Mr. Ndiaye. How much cost to develop this Pan-African fiber network? Mr. Ndiaye. Thank you very much, Edith. First, I would like to remind you that, as I said earlier, that we are present in 18 countries, and we are investing €1 billion every year to develop our networks. The heart of the network and the platforms and access and connectivity and transmission. This costs several hundreds of millions of euros. Without wanting to tell you the exact number, our overall investment in the region is €1 billion per year. Thank you.
Thank you, Monsieur Ndiaye. Then we have a question from a journalist from The Sun, Le Soleil. Are you expecting a change in customers after the connection of Djoliba? Well, as Mr. Ndiaye said, Orange has been investing in African networks for the digital transformation for a long time. So that's enabled us to be more productive, to show greater performance. In terms of Senegal, between 2016 and now, internet connectivity has improved by 86%. So we can also see reductions in cost and tariffs, which are the concrete result of working together. And this project definitely takes part in that. It will provide better redundancy in terms of access to subsea cables, in terms of quality, and it's a general economy of scale that will allow us to provide better internet access to all of our clients.
Thank you, Mr. Sekou Dramé. Next question for Mr. Ayubwe, who I introduced earlier. Who could commercialize the Djoliba service? Who are the customers who will benefit? Mr. Yobwe? Thank you, Edith, and hello to everyone. The commercialization of Djoliba will be done by the sales teams and the consortium, that is Sonatel, IC, International Cater, Orange Burkina Faso, Orange Mali, and Orange Côte d'Ivoire. Our objective is to be efficient for our customers, so we have organized ourselves in consequence. We are targeting all connectivity players, so those who want to connect to the network or internet through the points of presence, and those who want to integrate this into an offering package linked to the transition of private packages. We can organize this into 4 types, and I will cite them rapidly. Group 1 are telecommunications operator of West Africa and mobile and internet access providers. Our objective is to accompany the development of broadband for the market on the respective markets. And second, content providers who provide content. We also have a B2B, specific B2B infrastructures for collectivities and Asian or Western European to build their networks upon. So for all of these clients, so the ecosystem of the region will be offering these services through Djoliba. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yubwe. So we have a question for Mr. Jérôme Barret from Global Market. So you're the first network in fiber optic Pan-African network. So what about competitors in the market? That there was a slight break in the connection. So you indicate that you are the first network to provide Pan-African connectivity. What about the competition? Well, quite frankly, as I explained earlier, this is really a unique first for the installation of a totally Pan-African network. So it really is innovation. We are the first and the only operators to actually provide this service. And this service will be open for all players in the digital ecosystem. Wholesale, B2B, general consumers, and it's a shared resource that will increase connectivity throughout all countries in West Africa.
Mr. Jérôme Barret. So the segment in the global market intelligence, this is for Mr. Mamadou Bamba. Can you tell us more about the data centers that you mentioned? Where will they be located? Who operates them, and who could benefit? That is, in the mass, the public or private, or who is going to benefit? Well, we have a certain number of data centers. We have a data center in Côte d'Ivoire here, which is in Petit, which is operated by Orange Services, and also another data center in Senegal, which is operated by the Sonatel and Orange Services. As we saw in the video earlier, that we like to have a redundancy, a true redundancy across countries. And we have 2 data centers in other platforms. I'm thinking of Cameroon. We have a data center there. And in each country, we have a single data center, but which still has some redundancy. So all of the B2B clients are going to benefit. And as far as hosting of their services is concerned, and all our large international customers as well.
Thank you, Mr. Bomba. So the next question is for Mr. Roches. In terms of user experience, client experience, what are the advantages of Djoliba and its various dimensions? Thank you indeed for the question. Good morning, everyone. So, user experience is based on the technical expertise, which has been mentioned already, with speeds that go up to 100 gigabytes for across 8 countries and 330 million clients. So we're working on developing 3, 4, 5G to be more reliable, simpler, and with better performance. With a sole provider, there's only one invoice and one customer service unit. With Djoliba, there is no wasted time because we can reduce production times from 3 months today to much less tomorrow. It's more reliable. So we can detect any technical incidents 24/7 and on the ground based in Africa. So thanks to the technical teams, we'll be able to re-establish the network very quickly. So it's a unique experience in terms of high-level quality based in West Africa. So that allows us to promise our clients better connectivity for general consumer use, but also B2B, wholesale, and private customers.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam Ameteda Rame, the next question is for you. So from Le Soleil, what is the choice? Why choose Dakar as the center of management and maintenance for Djoliba? Thank you for this press release and for the person who asked the question. In this Orange's strategy, development and transfer competencies is a key element for us. The location in Africa around Dakar, but also in the Côte d'Ivoire. These countries, due to their geostrategic position, were selected by ONIS Afrique, which has an objective of supervising the operation of the network, needs to be close to customers and local teams and the partners, close to be able to intervene when necessary. And this is the reason why we selected Senegal, but it could have been Abidjan as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Madame Dramé. So, Aliou Ndiaye is for the next question. You announced the Bafo group in November. What's the link with Djoliba? Thank you, Edith. Thank you, Sioma. This is the name of a project that has changed, but it's actually the same project. So it's the West African backbone that became Djoliba, with entries into the continent. Thank you very much, Mr. Ndiaye.
So our next question is for Mr. Jérôme Barret. This is a very international project as far as management is concerned. And for this type of project, how did you coordinate it? And what were the means that you used to do so? Well, first of all, I would like to say, I think more than coordination, I would like to talk about cooperation. Of course, we had interface and various problems that were resolved. And we were successful in this project because we had a very close cooperation, seamless, with all the operators in Africa, Orange, Côte d'Ivoire, Senatel, and all of the players to make this project succeed. And I think that this is a great strength, is this sense of sharing and cooperation, perfect cooperation. And another thing, which is another important element to the success of the project, is that we basically contributed. We used the most of what we had. We made the most of what we had. And then we have the returns that are proportional to the assets that we put into it. Each one made the most of the assets they put in. Of course, this is an objective, the competencies and teams. So this collective wealth, and through this cooperation, that's how we succeeded and delivered the project on time.
So, you'll be answering another question about capacity, and when will this be shared with other countries? There are at least two of the countries we are looking at currently. So we'd like to increase the range of the project to other African countries and regions. The word opening to other markets, the opening, as I mentioned earlier, it's an important word. We would like to increase this practice of opening up and extend the network.
Thank you, Mr. Jean Barret. Question from Dakar Express for Mr. Ndiaye. What do Djoliba networks bring to end customers in Africa? We heard a lot about B2B, but what does it bring to the end customers in Africa, concretely? Mr. Ndiaye, your microphone. Thank you, Edith. Thank you for the question. These networks, as we said earlier, they are the backbone which links in a reliable and safe way with a level of a quality of service that is very high. These 8 African capitals safe and secure because we have a diversity of routes and submarine and land routes, and these will enable the operators, telecom operators of all of these countries to benefit from Orange offerings, but also the businesses located in these countries to benefit from Orange's offering. And these are wholesale offerings which will enable them to have redundancy, secure a better quality of service and costs that will be very competitive. So the end customer and the general public or businesses will benefit from this. Ultimately, from the offerings that Orange will provide to these operators and businesses. So it brings first security of connectivity, very high speed, and also the availability, as Emmanuel and Jérôme have talked about availability, which is above 99.99%. So this brings to the end user, who's a business or a member of the general public. This is what that will bring them.
Thank you. It's over to you again. Why does this network not connect all the subsidiaries in West Africa? It will come. This is the first step, but as I said earlier, we intend to remain open to other networks, either those that exist already, Or, as Jérôme said, to plan for the future our own implication in future networks, to be able to provide as a key player to bring digital transformation to Africa.
With ONIS Afrique, we see that Dakar was selected to host the maintenance of the Djoliba network. Have other capitals, would they also be able to host a maintenance center? Mr. Ndiaye. Well, in fact, what we need to understand is that our infrastructures and our operating and supervision centers are spread across the major countries on the continent. So we have Abidjan, we have a certain number of infrastructures there, which are located as a group Orange Service, which is a subsidiary of all the subsidiaries of the sub-regions, and its headquarters is in Abidjan. And we need to link the services to each country, and we also see that there are other types of centers which are located in Abidjan and some others in Dakar. So this is a balance, and it's a pretty balanced spread across the countries, with a beachhead in Abidjan and Dakar, because at Abidjan and Dakar we have more competencies, more infrastructure, and so this enables us to organize increasing securitization between Abidjan and Dakar. So both for the supervision of our access networks and our platform, as for optical fiber, the centers are generally have two pillars, one in Dakar, one in Abidjan, which will continue to operate even if there's a problem in one of the countries or the other.
Thank you, Mr. Ndiaye. May I just add a word? So that illustrates, if I can pick up as well, the complementarity of teams. ONIS Africa is part of an incredibly important technical skills and teams, and we're very happy to participate, and thank you.
So a last compliment said, independently of the location, Orange is a group, and in all its centers, you find diversity with colleagues from all countries. This is also the operational modus operandi that we have. Thank you for this, and thank you to everyone. This is the moment to close the conference. I will remind the journalists that this will be available in a replay on the same website. And if you have any questions, you can send them directly to our various press officers. I will now give the floor to Mr. Aliou Ndiaye for the last word. Mr. Ndiaye, over to you.
The microphone. Thank you, Edith. I wanted to start by thanking all of you, especially the press representatives. What's important about this Djoliba project? It's innovation that allows West Africa and on the African continent a seamless network, and would allow clients, customers, companies, and the general public to access very high speed network. So it's truly important for Orange's customers and locally to develop skills of our individual teams, Sonatel's teams, Orange's teams. So it's a hugely innovative project that is a key feature for African digital transformation. That's what I wanted to say, and thank you again, Edith.
So thank you to everyone again. And is on this very good news, the note of this good news of the improvement of the high-speed network, that we will end this conference. And I say I will see you very soon. Thank you very much.
Orange.